She talks about men and why men get married.
Did you know that many men marry women they don't love and marry you because of many reasons? Perhaps there was pressure. Maybe you got pregnant, or his family were pressuring him to marry, and you seemed the decent one. Or maybe the pressure was coming from you. Some men marry because they're selfish. They don't really believe marriage is going to stop them from enjoying their best lives. Some men marry because they think they love you. Some marry because all their friends have gotten married and they're left out and they need to find somebody who makes sense.
Yeah, this one. Like some men get married because most of their friends are getting married and they feel left out. So they're trying to catch up. This happened to my husband's close friends because my husband got married to me very early. We got married very early. So most of his friends were not really ready to get married, but they were surprised. They were intrigued. They were motivated. They were inspired by his actions and how serious he was. And they were like, okay, maybe we are going to start taking our girlfriends more serious. We're going to start taking our relationships more seriously. And we are going to start looking for a wife, So most of the guys, they were so fast. We got married and in 2 years, in no less than 2 years, most of them got married or they took their relationship to the next level. They became fiancés and within 5 years, all of them were married. So I kind of understand this point where she says some men get married because they feel most of their friends have gotten married and they feel left out. So they want to catch up. They want to also be married.
And only a few truly marry because their hearts are invested. When we are marriage hungry and we are prepared to do whatever it takes to get the ring, we become victims. We make us.
Yeah, so true. Most women, this is something, it's not just, this is about society, about culture, about tradition. Most women are raised to become wives in most cultures. So most of the young girls grow up, they're thinking of the day that they're going to get married. They're going to have a husband who's going to treat them nicely. They're going to have this fairy tale wedding and have a man who is going to provide and protect them. This was in ancient medieval times. But unfortunately, this has been carried through generations upon generations. And up to now, this is 2024, and majority women still think this way. Even though few women, though the ones who are online, are pushing or are propagating this idea of we don't want a man, we don't need a man. But most women deep down in them, they want their own man. They want a man who is going to take care of them, who's going to treat them right. They want a man who is going to fall in love with them and treat them like the princesses that they are, So this pressure from culture, from tradition, from religion, from society makes women to always be in constant need to be validated, to be chosen by a man. And this in turn makes us victims. We become victims because I've seen so many cases like men dragging women online. They'll say, oh, if you don't get married when you're 20 or 25, you will be expired. You're expired goods. Or you're going to die. You're going to be alone with a cat, or with a dog. You're going to be lonely. You're going to die alone, blah, 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 blah. They keep threatening women. Oh, your biological clock is ticking and soon you won't be able to make babies. You won't be able to have kids. And that's what most men want when they're trying to get married to you. And these things continue over time. When it keeps repeating, they keep perpetuating this over and over. It becomes like a norm. It becomes like some sort of women's reality. And so many women are stuck. They are stuck in that reality, that they feel that pressure. No, by this age, by this time, I have to get married. I have to have kids. I have to be with a man, and the men know it. They know it because we keep projecting it. Every time we meet a man, We are always the ones who are desperate. We are always the ones who wants to settle down. I mean, most of the men are not always like, they don't always want to settle down. And I have interviewed a man before, and I will share this with you. A man told me that most men don't want to be locked down by one woman. Most of the men, if they had the chance, they will want to be with as many women as they want. But because they have to be with one woman through marriage, they are not interested. And guys, have you always noticed that? In most marriages, the women are the most excited. They are always so excited to get married, the wedding, the pomp and pageantry, all that, the glam, the dressing and everything. The woman is so happy. She's the princess. And most of the guys always make these statements like, oh, it's her day. I want to give her the best. I want her wedding to be the talk of the town. The guys are always talking like, it's her thing. I'm just trying to give her the best. Do you understand? The guys don't want to get married. Guys don't want to get married. And I digress. These guys said the guys don't want to be in a locked up conspiracy. Because when you're married to one woman, you're locked up. You can see all the fine chicks going up and down, passing in front of you, in front and behind, side and left and right, side by side. But you can't do anything because you're married, But they want the freedom. Most men want the freedom, but religion, custom, tradition, and socialization has made men to also value marriage, And she's so right. Let's continue.
Ourselves victims. We walk into the perfect position to be married for the wrong reasons. And when we finish and come to the other side of an unloving marriage, we're broken. Because a woman's soul needs to be loved in exactly the way a man who loves a woman loves. Holy, complete.
Yeah, she's so right. We are so excited. Like I already said, we are so excited, want to get married. We're so desperate in some cases. Some women are really desperate. And I can't really blame these women because society will push you to the wall. They'll push you to your limits, In some societies, like African society, if you're 30 and you're not married and you don't have kids and you're attending marriages of younger girls or any marriage, any activity like concerning a marriage ceremony, you will be mocked. They will mock you. Your aunties will keep asking you, when are you bringing your own man? When are you having a baby? Don't you have a boyfriend? Oh, blah, 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 blah. They will keep poking you. They will poke you until you get mad, So all these things make women to be desperate. I mean, you are trying to prove to them that, okay, I can get a man, I can get married. So any man that comes to you at that time, you just want to be married. You just want to have the name that I'm married. But what comes after having that title as marriage? As married, what comes after that? In some cases, for some people, they find it so it's so smooth, it's so beautiful, it's a good experience. They made a nice man, a man who wants them to grow, a man who builds them, a man who supports them. But for some, that's not the reality. The reality is abuse. The reality is pain, depression, suffering, hardship, And at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why was I so desperate to get married? Was this what I was yearning for? And when you get married, you get to that stage. In some cases, I'll always use African society as an example. In African societies, when you get married, two families get married. And in the process of this marriage, a bride price is paid and the bride price is distributed. It's shared amongst the male line of the family, your father's family, your father's brothers, they share the money. And also gifts are exchanged, especially from the man, from the groom to the bride's family, So in the case of divorce, in some traditions, I think in the Igbo land, you have to pay back the bride price, and in some cases you have to bring back all the gifts that were given. How are you going to to assemble all these gifts from these different people who might have already used up the gifts? How are you gonna assemble all these? So it's a very long, cumbersome, and painful process to get a separation or a divorce from the man you're married to. And you know what? Most of these relatives, because it's a family getting married to another family, they don't care about you. They care about themselves. They don't want to pay back anything. So they will find every way possible to send you back to your abusive marriage. So that's the reality. So next, every time you think about marriage, if you're so desperate to get married, be mindful of the fact that you might end up being a victim of your own circumstance, of your own causing, like a victim of something that you caused. Not only you caused, but society, of course, religion, of course, tradition, and all. But ladies, take care of yourselves. Don't be desperate. Don't push it. Don't be in a rush. If it's coming, it's gonna come. If it's gonna come, it's gonna come. If it's not gonna come, it's not gonna come. Marriage is not the end of the road. There is more to life than marriage. But if you find marriage, that is good for you. But never be desperate to be married. Never. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button, share if you love the message, and see you all in the next one.